Hi everyone, just a short video to talk about functional threshold power, or FTP as it's otherwise known, and this is in relation to bike training. Okay, so first of all, FTP is the estimated average power that you can hold for 60 minutes. Okay, so for example, if you do an FTP test, and we'll go through that in a second, and the result comes out at say 230 watts, then by rights you should be able to hold approximately 230 watts for 1 hour maximum effort, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's what FTP is. Just to give you another term while we're here, sweet spot is something that we use quite a lot as well. As you can see from the graph there, I won't go into this in too much detail, but in simple terms, what this is demonstrating is that within your training efforts, there is a particular area where you can sustain a moderately hard amount of power for a reasonable amount of time, and that is generally called the sweet spot. It's kind of common sense really that if you go super hard, you can't sustain the effort for as long. Similarly, if you go really easy, you can sustain it for a long time. So there is that sweet spot where you can hold a reasonably hard power or kind of a hard effort for a reasonably long amount of time, and that is the sweet spot, what we call the sweet spot, and that is a training level which allows us to really kind of dial in and try and get the most improvements out of our FTP. Why do we look at FTP? Why do we talk about FTP? Well, it's like a line in the sand. It allows us to kind of measure your ability at any one moment in time. When you do an FTP test, it will tell us what power you can hold for that hour, and also what your power to weight ratio is, so that what that power is in relation to your actual body weight at that particular moment in time. So it allows us to monitor improvements over time. So obviously, hopefully the FTP will go up and the power to weight ratio number will go up as well. And also allows us to really be quite accurate in the way that we prescribe training sessions. So FTP is really important when it comes to training. When we're applying it to triathletes, talking to triathletes, then if you know what CSS, your critical swim speed is, FTP is the kind of the bike equivalent or the running threshold speed, then that's the same kind of thing for the bike. All right. Knowing what your FTP is as well gives you some focus, gives you some really focus, especially when you combine it with your power to weight. So it tells you what power you can hold for an hour. Clearly, you want to be as powerful as you can over that particular time, and also in terms of power to weight ratios, it may well be that if there is some body composition changes that can help you, then maybe that ratio can shift it. You could push the power up, change the body composition, and bring the weight down a little bit to improve that power to weight ratio. Generally, the higher the power to weight ratio, then the faster bike rider you will become. So that's what FTP is, and that's why it's really important. So how do you test for an FTP? Clearly, doing a maximal test for an hour is pretty damn hard work. All right, so what we do instead is we do a 20-minute test instead. So a good thorough warm-up, a solid maximum effort for 20 minutes, and then from that 20-minute result, we take 95% to estimate what we think you'd be able to hold for an hour. All right, so maximum effort for 20 minutes and 95% of that. If you are a coached athlete or you have a bit more hands-on with your coach, then if the coach knows you, then that 95% will be varied depending on how the coach thinks that you've progressed through the test. Sometimes we use 90%, sometimes we use 100%, but in general terms, 95% is a decent place to kind of pitch it. All right, so nice and simple, nice and straightforward. If you've got any questions about that, then obviously drop a question or a comment below and we'll come back to you. We're going to be releasing videos as we go, as we always do. So please like the video if you do like it, and also follow us on YouTube so that you get notified about any other videos that come out. All right, but hope you found that useful, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.